You've seen this flower 1,000 times, right? Dotting lawns and fields with its little yellow face. It's the buttercup. But, this simple-looking flower has a story that is way more complex and, honestly, pretty fascinating than you'd ever guess.
So here it is, the common creeping buttercup. We see it so often, a lot of people just write it off as a weed. But this little plant is an ancient survivor, a master of clever tricks, and it's hiding a pretty big secret.
Ah, this takes you back, doesn't it? The old childhood game, holding a buttercup under your friend's chin. If it glowed yellow, it meant they liked butter. Well, we're going to find out exactly why that flower is so shiny. But first, you've got to know just how massive the buttercup family really is.
Okay, so let's take a closer look at this so-called humble flower and its absolutely enormous family tree.
Yep, you're seeing that right. The buttercup isn't just one flower. It's part of a genus called Ranunculus, which has something like 1,750 different species. That little flower in your garden, it's just one tiny member of a huge, diverse clan.
And that clan includes some relatives that are, well, pretty different. You have your familiar buttercups, of course, but you also have things called spearworts and even aquatic plants called water crowfoots, which live their whole lives underwater.
So how did this family of little frogs, and we'll get to that name in a bit, manage to basically conquer the entire globe?
I mean, just look at this resume. The buttercup has set up shop on every single continent, except Antarctica. It probably got its start in northern Eurasia, but from there it just spread everywhere, adapting to all kinds of climates, especially temperate and mountainous ones.
And this family goes way, way back. We're talking prehistoric. The oldest fossils we've found might date all the way to the Eocene period. But get this, while they don't live in Antarctica now, we've found fossils showing the buttercups were growing there during the Pliocene, even as glaciers were taking over the continent. This is one tough flower.
So how on earth did it survive and thrive for so long? Well, that gets us to the buttercup's really brilliant design and its clever little tricks.
If we take a quick look at its basic anatomy, you see all the usual parts, sepals, petals, and the reproductive bits right in the middle. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is all in the structure of those petals.
This is it. This is why it glows under your chin. The top layer of the petal is incredibly, perfectly smooth, so it acts just like a tiny mirror. And that intense shine isn't just for fun. It does two crucial jobs. It flashes light to catch the eye of pollinating insects, and it actually helps warm up the important reproductive parts in the center of the flower.
Now, we almost always think of buttercups as yellow, but the family has incredible variety. On the left, there's our familiar yellow friend. But on the right, that's the glacier buttercup. It's this super hardy species with white petals that loves to grow way up high in rocky, cold mountains.
And that diversity doesn't stop at the flowers, it extends all the way to their fruits. Some are smooth and simple, like you see on the left, but others develop these totally wild, spiky, hooked structures. It's crazy. So, with a plant this common and widespread, you just know it's going to have a rich history with people. Let's dive into some of the myths and legends it's picked up over the years.
First up, let's talk about that scientific name, Ranunculus. It's from late Latin and it means little frog. And the reason is actually pretty cute. A lot of these plants, just like frogs, love to hang out near water.
Oh, the stories that have popped up around this flower. There's that old false belief that cows eating buttercups is what makes butter yellow, and we'll find out in a minute why that would be a very, very bad idea. In ancient Rome, people apparently used it to try and remove tattoos, which must have hurt. And in the Pacific Northwest, there's a legend that gives it a beautiful name, Coyote's Eyes.
So the story goes, the trickster spirit Coyote was goofing around, tossing his own eyes up in the air and catching them. But then an eagle swooped down and snatched them right out of the sky. Suddenly blind, Coyote had to find a replacement, so he made himself a new pair of eyes from two bright yellow buttercups.
All right, that brings us to our final section. And this is where the story of our cheerful little flower takes a pretty dramatic and dark turn. I mean, just look at this thing. This is a cultivated variety, bred specifically for those incredible rose-like layers of petals. It's so easy to see why people love these in their gardens. They're just absolutely beautiful.
But they are also poisonous. In fact, all species of Ranunculus are toxic if you eat them fresh. Yep, that cheerful little flower has a very real dark side.
Now here's the really important thing to understand. It's all about whether the plant is fresh or dried. When it's fresh, it's packed with a compound that turns into a nasty toxin.
But if the plant is dried out, like in hay, that toxin breaks down completely, which is why hay with buttercups in it is totally safe for animals to eat.
So here's how it works, in simple terms. The plant has this stuff in it called ranunculin. When the plant gets crushed or chewed, that compound breaks down and forms a really awful toxin. For humans, just handling it can cause a painful skin rash. And if an animal eats it fresh, it can cause severe blistering inside its mouth and stomach.
So the next time you see a field full of buttercups, I hope you'll see it a little differently. It's not just a weed, it's an ancient survivor, a tiny mirror, a character in legends, and a hidden poisoner, all rolled into one. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible secrets are hiding in plain sight, maybe even right in your own backyard?